Good day, it's Kieran the Boss Steven, CEO of LMP Records. Today, out of my busy schedule, um, I've decided to take some time because it's a while people have been asking me about my recording levels from since I did the video of Cash Major Strap. I got direct messages, a person asking why I mix so low or why I record so low, and I promised to take the time to go for it. So today, sorry for the long wait, but I'm a very busy person, so I hope at the end of this video you're much clearer. There's a few things I want to speak about. I want to speak about your recording levels. I want to speak about gain staging within your mix and to get your end result. And at the end, I want to do a little bit about in the box and out the box mixing. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going out around of you could mix only in the box or you could mix out of the box. I just want to clarify a few things for the persons that's up and coming but a little confused of what gear they should get or should they get gear and what you can achieve just in the computer and so on and so forth. So hopefully at the end of the day you can have a better understanding in your selective process of which way you want to go. So first of all, start up here with the recording levels and a little insight of why while mixing this track you could see how my levels were so low from this Cash Major track, where you can see everything is peaking around the -10 mark. There is a reason for that. Okay, first thing I want to explain is about your interface, your sound card, your converter, whatever you're doing. They all been calibrated to a certain level. We tend to look at what's happening in Logic or in Pro Tools, and we're going, well, we have all this headroom, all this space there. Let's try and get as close to the 0 point as possible, which is incorrect. If you're in 24-bit in Pro Tools or Logic, it's like 166 dB of headroom. There is no sound card in the world that could actually get that amount of level coming into it without distortion. When you're in the digital domain, it's not a problem. You could smash it as much as you want, but bear in mind there are plugins out there which are looking for that kind of conservative level, just like your hardware for when you talk about plugin emulations. So that's a big issue. When you slam in it there, it's like, it's like, let's put this into perspective. You buy a car which could go 180 miles an hour, but on the roads, like here in the UK, you're allowed to drive 70 miles an hour on the motorway, or else, you get a speeding ticket or the police will flag you down because you're above the speed limit. So it doesn't matter if your car could go 200 miles an hour, you're still governed by what the speed limit is. Your speed limit is your sound card, what it could take. Okay, so people are asking me, well, why we have all this metering and then we still want to stay down here? It's because you have a car that could go 200 miles an hour, but because of the limitations of your sound card, you have to stick to around this level. So that's the first thing, and the most important thing is knowing what your sound card could take and calibrating your system to get that nice, cool, conservative level. And when you're in the digital domain, if you want to raise it up, you could raise it up without, because people are saying, well, we have 32-bit floating point and so on and so forth. Yes, you have this, so in effect, you can't clip in the digital domain. But when you're recording, it's a big no-no. Okay, so what I've done, I've set up a little insight of your recording level, and I want to show you something why my mix peak around that -10 mark. Some people go a bit -6. I tend to, because I've calibrated it to my card. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to send a signal generator here. Okay, so I have this at peak level of -15. Okay, and I have a VU meter so you could see what's happening. Okay, so if I send this sine wave here, okay, you see this is -15 sine wave, 1K tone, -15. I'm spot on within the Klanghelm meter. Okay, so if I then, your RMS level should be about -3 of your peak level. So -15, if I turn this to -18 and I change this to RMS and I send the same sine signal into here, look, I'm still peaking at -15. So it means that -15 peak and -18 RMS is equal to the same thing because it demonstrates it here. Okay, so let's get this tone out. So when you buy your sound card and they say your sound card could run between -18 to 15 RMS level, you kind of want to be peaking really around -15, which is extremely low. when you look at it in your door. You know, look at how low this is here. You know, look at this, how low this signal is. It's like people gonna go this mad. Look at, because they're looking at why we have all this space here. But this is you governed by your sound card, and what your sound card is looking for. My mix is, I insert hardware along my mixing chain, and I use emulation plugins as well. So I maintain around the negative mark, which is within the negative 10, 18 to negative 15 RMS kind of level. And I maintain that all through my mix. So if I insert an analog gear, this is equivalent to plus 4 dB line level. This is what most professional gears are, plus 4 dB line level. So at any point, if I insert an analog gear within my chain, it's going out to my converter at the perfect level for going into my compressor or my EQ. Or if I use an emulation plugin, I use a lot of emulation plugins. A lot of the plugins from Waves and so on, they are calibrated to that kind of level as well. You might be getting a sound from them, but are you getting actually the best sound? Try going into them the correct level and see how beautiful sound it will be. You know, so this is why I maintain this level. If my mix translate from here, for example, all those tracks in purple, they are my drums. Nothing is speaking over that level. Okay, what I'm compressing, what I'm EQing, and I maintain this level all the way through. If I go to my drum bus, which is this level, this drum track here, you know, I have maybe a slight compression on it, but 1 dB of compression, so I'm not really changing the level anyway. I'm just nicely gluing the drums together, and I maintain this level all throughout. That even without the plugins, this peak level doesn't change. Okay, the level just comes and makes stuff cleaner, makes stuff more punchier when the plugin comes in, and all the way to my mix bus at the end, where I aiming for a K14. If you look at this meter here, this is a great meter. I have it set to K14, so I'm trying to get a K14. This is what I aim for at my mix downs, which normally peak around -6. So if I want to raise the level to send a loud level to someone, I can just put the plugin at the end and raise it, and then I can send a loud. But at -6, this is kind of where I do my mix down to accomplish, plenty headroom for mastering. I have my mix bus and I have a master fader. So if anything is a little bit too hot, I could pull this down so that I ensure I'm going into my mix bus compression, which is here. I'm aiming for about 2 to 3 dB on my mix bus of compression. And if that's a little bit too hot, I could just pull this fader down and I'm going into everything nicely. This is how it's set up. But the important bit is maintaining your level all the way through. When you put your plugins on, your mix shouldn't get any louder. If you have your drums going to a drum bus, you should maintain that same level at the end. This is what gain staging is about. So, for example, without the plugins of my kick, if I just take this kick here, for example, so you understand what I mean. If I solo the kick, okay, and I take the plugins out of the kick, okay, the kick is still, let's give that some volume. The kick is still peaking at -10. So I put the first plugin, okay, here, I get more punch, okay. I put this second plugin on, okay, more punch, okay. This is the Helios, more punch, but I'm still peaking. I put this plugin after, more punch, okay, the R bass, more punch, but I haven't left this peak level yet. I've gained some RMS and I've gained some some oomph, which is what I'm looking for, but I'm not looking for loudness. We could get that at the end, and this is what you should do on every single track. Do that, but don't get loudness, because at the end, as I said, you could raise that to as loud as anything out there. Maintain your gain state. If you see the plugins I'm using, the majority of them are analog emulations. They're looking for that nice conservative level as well. Trust me, you get a better response from them. Okay, so I hope you get that insight, which is what plenty of people were asking about. Please explain why you choose to go so low. I have compressors and stuff, and anytime I insert them, if you look at my mix bus here, you see I have EQ 502 here, which is my Pultec EQ. They just inserted. They inserted just like a plugin. The second one, I have my safe sound compressor. It's inserted just like a plugin. So when I come out of there at that nice conservative level, this is what those gear are actually looking for. Okay, I mix in the box, and I love mixing the box, but I have hardware for inserting in certain places, which I think is important. But the important thing which I think was left out in the blog from Record Revolution saying about Andrew Scheps mix on his laptop on a $100 headphone. When I watched the interview, Andrew Scheps was in the process of stripping his studio down and relocating. And they've said to him, so when are you going to be selling all those rack of gear you have on your studio? And he said to him, I'm not going to be selling them. And you're not going to be selling them? You're mixing in the box for 2 years and you're not going to be selling those gear? And he says, no, because I need it when I'm recording. He is recording. Because unlike myself who get gear from people who record stuff at home or small budget studios, who don't have all those gear, I need some gear to kind of do some vibes to it, which sometimes I don't get from the plugin. He is not selling those gear because he did it for recording. It tells you that recording is the most important aspect of your stuff. If you record everything perfectly, you could then mix in the box and put a few plugins because it's already recorded right. He mixed a Chili Peppers record and he only had 5 plugins on the drums because the drums was tracked so incredible that he didn't need to do anything to it. So that's why it's important that you pay attention to your tracking. If you track right, of course, you don't need to insert the gear again. But I have my rack of gear because not everyone is tracking using the gear that I have here in the studio. So then I can insert it on it. I also have the gear for when I'm recording my own vocals and artists there that I can record them through it. So that when it goes into Pro Tools, I don't have to insert so many plugins because I've already given it some pre-compression and EQ, which is analog treatment. And if you get it perfectly at the start, less work for you to do in the box. When Dave Pensado gets a record to mix, he's getting it from a professional studio that's already recorded, and he's just shipping stuff together. Same things for Andrew Scheps. Those guys are getting professionally recorded tracks. Don't get it twisted about they mixing all in the box. You could mix all in the box as well if you're getting great recorded stuff. But I will say that you may have songs on the radio, you may have, songs and plenty artists working with. Ask yourself, am I getting the best possible mix or the best possible sounding record out of my studio? Sometimes a little bit of improvement with your workflow without buying anything more. You could just change your workflow a little bit, get your speakers calibrated, get your gain staging sorted out, and you'll be well on your way of improving. I'm always striving to improve my sound. I don't always have to get gear. I sometimes invest time in me, because at the end of the day, it's what in my head that I need to do to translate out there to get the best sounding record. Keep making music. God bless. Respect to all of y'all. Thanks for showing the love. And yeah, hope you feel the vibes. Yes, this is little bit rhythm from Kashmir the Strap. Everything is low and it could be as loud as everything out there. Yeah. One love. Peace out.